Welcome to a brand new set of devotions this week. We're glad that you joined us, and we're excited to look at this subject. As we've been covering the prophecies of Daniel, I thought it would be a great time to really examine just how much God knows us. We could talk about God's knowledge of the future and how he has the future just as down pat as he does history. But when we look at interacting with him and really understanding how much our lives matter to him, it's important to remember that we are known by God. Now, that might be a foreign concept to you. You might be used to thinking of God in a way where he's kind of like an absentee boss that only checks in on you whenever the performance review is due. Well, that is not the way God is at all. In fact, this week we're going to examine several scriptures that show us just how much God knows about who we are. Now, I want to start with a story. And this story takes place at the beginning of the Gospel of John, where Jesus is calling his disciples. And he comes upon Nathanael. And one of the reasons why, if you read the beginning of the Gospel of John in chapter 1, that Nathanael ends up following Jesus is because Jesus knew Nathanael. He knew him. And he recalled to Nathanael about him seeing Nathanael underneath a fig tree. And so let's take a look at that passage here as we realize that God knows our thoughts. Did you know that God knows your thoughts? Did you know that if you're having a day where you're kind of blah and you do one of those just fine answers, how you doing? I'm just fine, I'm good, and somebody asks you, how you really doing? I'm good, it's all good, I'm good, I'm doing great. I want you to know God knows every one of your thoughts. He knows it. He knows what you're experiencing, he knows what's going on, and he knew what Nathanael had taken place. In John chapter 1, verse 48, it says, Nathanael asks Jesus, how do you know me? And Jesus answered, because before Philip even called you, that's the other disciple, when you were under that fig tree, I saw you. And Nathanael answered him and said, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. And Jesus answered him and said, because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree. Do you believe? You will see greater things than these. God's knowledge, Jesus' knowledge, the Lord's knowledge of Nathanael, showed Nathanael that he in fact did see him. One of the most amazing things that you can know is that God sees you, that God knows you, that he knows your thoughts. And it helps you with intimacy and with prayer because it enables you to recognize that God is already a step ahead of you on what you think. Sometimes God knows what you're thinking before you even do and before you can even comprehend it. And when we understand this, we can understand that we are truly known by God.